Hello viewers, welcome to CodeForAny Fruit Markets app. Inside today need to develop this here the another tables need to design here, and today video is the most important parts of this app because need to manage this here the cart tables as well as the order tables and order item tables, and then after to creating this here the rating tables also need to manage here today. How to create the structure designs we need to explain in details. First of all, we need to open this here the database in web browsers. Now we need to create here the another tables for the managing here the cards. We need to give this here the table names, and we need to create here the 7 columns inside here. Create here the cart underscore detail tables, and we need this here the 7 columns. Need to create here. First of all, we need to name this here the cart ID like here's primary key, and auto increments need to assign seers, and item underscore id we need to which specific items need to add in this card. We need to give this here, use this here the card id, item id, and again so need to which users again so need to save this card. We need to give this here the user reference for the user id like here's. Then after we need to manage this here the quantity, how many quantity we take for these users. Need to give this here the quantity as a 1, and need to give this here the for maximum 999 900 9,999. So need to maximum give this here the quantity like this. We need to give this here the force, and then after we need to manage this here the common structures. Need to use this here the status. By default we need to give this here the 1. Then after created date and modify dates, now we need to set here the date time. Data types we need to set here, and current timestamps we need to set this here. Here commonly one gives this here id, status, created dates and modified dates. Always any tables need to create need to need this value 3. For columns always need to need here, and other columns related to tables need to put here. Now created timestamps, current timestamp need to set this here, and these tables are the developing are the done, and we need to save these tables and created done for the cart details tables. Now we need to create here the most important tables. We need to manage this here the order managements. We need to making here, and now I need to create here the another tables. I need to write down here the order detail. This is the main order detail tables. We need to put here inside. We need to need this here the 15 columns. We need to nearby needs here. Now we need to create here the 15s. First ones need to create this here the order underscore id is order id, and auto increments primary key. We need to set this here. Need to set which user orders. That's one to use this here the order user id, and to give this by default as a 0. Then after we need to payment types, which payment methods inside to pay these users need to set here, and we need to give this by defaults once. And now we need to set this here the once means here the COD, and two means here the online payments, prepayments like this. We need to tools here post payments and prepayments like this type. We need to set for here, but we need to give this here the cash on delivery and online payments like this. Need to set this here the types. Then after the payment status need to declare here for these orders. Need to set here the 1 as well as payment type as 1, and now need to give this by default as 0. Once means here the 0 means here need to set here the waiting for the payment. If you COD, then always get this here the waitings, and then order completed COD inside, then to automatically convert into the success. We need to set here. Now need to success like, and 2 means here the fail for the payments like we need to configurations for the payment status. Then after so need to these orders which address we need to place these orders. We need to sending here. We need to give this here the address field. Need to write down here the address where cares, and to set here the 250. You need to set this here the length and blank. Then after we need to need this here the latitudes longitudes for the delivery boys. We need to exit locations which place we need to put these orders delivers. We need to need this here, and we to give this here the 25 and defines as a zero point 0.0, like this value need to set here, let it, and longi like this we need to give this here the latitudes longitudes need to provide here for this value, and we need to set here geolocations like here we need to set. And then after also make sure we need to give this here the delivery boy easy to identify of the area. That's why I need to pass this here the zip codes. This is the optional field. If you small amounts and specific area inside to handle this app, then to not need this here the zip codes, only need this here the latitude longitudes is good for the every delivery boys. Now need to set here the varchars and to set here the 15s, and by default need to set this here the blank for zip codes. Then after we need to total sum out orders, we need to set here total amount, like here the total amounts, total order amount, like we need to set here the pool titles, set here the varchars because we need to sometimes need to show with here the plots, we need to changing this here the values round up. That's why I need to use this here the varchars. Then after order of per order amount, and we need to set here varchars, need to set here the 25, also set here the 25 0 point 0, then here delivery at amounts, delivery amount for these orders, and we need to set this here the varchar 25, by default need to 0 point 0, like we need to configurations for this here. Then after finals user pay order amount, like here, and we need to set this here the varchars 25 and 0 point 0 define, so need to const value. Then after here the available here the status for this related to order status, need to manage here, need this here the order status, maybe you need to give this here the 2. By default need to set here the 0, means here the creating new orders, need to declare here 0 new order. Once means you need to write down here the process this order. 2 means 3, 2 means here the assign delivery boy. 3 means here we need to write down here the output delivery for this order. Force means we need to give this here the deliver these items, deliver, like here. 6 means here the cancel this order, like here. We need to manage this here the status for this order. Now created dates, which time need to create these orders, and modify date, set here the date time, and current timestamps need to put this here. Now we need to save this here. This is the order main tables. We need to assign this here the related to this order inside the which items we need to user orders. We need to another tables need to manage here. We need to create here the another tables order item detail tables, and to bind with here the order ID which specific orders to belong to these orders. We need to assign this here. Now we need to creating here the another new tables. We need to develop this here the order item tables, need to write down here order item detail tables, and we need to need this here the columns, we need to set this here the 12 columns need to needs, and we need to creating here. Now need to give this here the item order id, means here the specific id, need to put here, and we need to create auto increments like this. Then after the order id we need to need this here to need to order detail table to need to relationships need to manage this here, and by default need to set this here 0. And then after so need to carts id, which cart items need to put this here. That's why I need to use this here, the cart id need to join with here, and also need to get this cart id to quantity of the orders need to get here. Then after so need this here the price id, which price amounts need to which need to currently play, and to get this here that's going to use this here the place id. Then after the which offers are the applied for this here the orders, we need to give this here the order id. And then after we need to total sum of these items, we need to write down here total amounts for this item where cares 25, and we need to set this here the depend 0.0. Same as we need to offer amount for these items, offer amounts also need to calculate here where care 25, and we need to set this depends as a 0.0, like this value we need to put here. Then user payable amount, after the minus discounts we need to give this here the payable amounts 25, and by default we need to give this here the 0.0 value need to set here. Then after we need to give this here the order or the cancel or rejects, we need to give this here the reasons which reason to cancel this order, otherwise the reject these orders need to mentions here the reasons. That's why I need to give this here the reasons, and we need to set this here the where cares, and we need to give the sign here the 500s for this blank. Then after need to order status, we need to manage here status, and we need to give this here the status, maybe otherwise need to give this here only the status names, and we need to assign this here the one. By default we need to set this here the new orders. By default we need to give this here the zero means here the new order. Once means we need to order accepted. Two means we need to write down so waiting for delivery. Means orders are the ready for the deliver or pickups. That's why I need to give this here waiting for delivery. And after the three means here the output delivery for this order. And fifth fourth means here to give this here the done order done, so need to delivers. Fifth means here that cancel this order by user. And seven means here the order are reject status need to manage here. Maybe out of stock this item, that's when to possible to reject these orders. And need to set this here the created date and modify date. Set here the date time, and current time stamps need to default value need to assign here. And now need to save these tables. This is the managing here to related here the order, how to manage here the using here the two table to manage this here the orders. Need to first one is the order details, and second one is the order details items inside the all related to carts items need to assign here, and to manage this here the specific items with real to packaging learns like this. We need to managing here about the status. That's why I need to like this. We need to writing here. Then after we need to last table today we need to develop this here the rating for the related to completed these orders, and to user give this here the rates. Need this here the tables. Need to create go inside the database, and to create here the new tables, and to give this here the review detail tables. Review detail. And we need to need this here the columns need to nine columns need to needs, and to create this here's rate id auto increments. And then after we need to item id, which item to belong this review we need to put here. Then after we need to set here the item order id, and we need to set here depends as a zero, remove this here the null. Then after set here the how many rates given this here the users, we need to set here the plot value. Need to configure this here, otherwise need to set here the decimals. Need to define here 0 5.0 max. Need to set here the rate. Then after the review message. To set here the column name as a message, varchars, and to give this here the 500s maximums, need to write this here the message. Then after switch users, we need to rate this here the users, need to give this here the 0 here. And then after we need to set this here the status, create a date, modify date, set here the date time, and default value need to set here the current timestamp, status 1, and we need to write down here the 1. Once means here the active, 2 means here the delete. And we need to save this here the tables. If you like this video, please give the thumbs up. If you're new user, so please subscribe my channels and press the notification bell icon. You can get every new video notifications and awesome content. If you have any question, so please write down the comment sections. I will help you and sort out your issue. Everyone have a nice day. Goodbye and take care.